What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Doom and gloom talk. Let's go. This ain't the fuck like oh, this game he stinks.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Folks, Bob Mannery here, and you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc. Make him yours. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. We'll have the doc on around 6 o'clock. Talk to him about some injury news around the league here in Philadelphia, etc. And we'll talk to him just about the Eagles, Sixers, and all that craziness like we do every week here. We'll do Crumb of the Week at the end of the show. A lot to go into that bag. There's a lot. There's a lot in that bag of crumbs. There really is this week. It feels like it's a crummish week. Really crummish week.
Buffet talk.
Buffet, dabble around the NFL. We'll circle it, talk about it, and obviously we have to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs game and just the Eagles in general. And we'll do Eagles-Chiefs post-game, and that ties in to our poll question brought to you by Manscaped, and you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. They're the best in the business. I love them. I can't say enough about their products. Really can't. I put them on everything. I put it on everything. That should be a new thing they say. We put it on everything. Our poll question for tonight, the Eagles. This is Greg. This is Greg. Had a big hand in this poll question, obviously, because it is doom and gloom related. And I was going to start this off by saying that before the season, because I'm a hopeful guy, I'm a glass half full guy. Unlike popular opinion of me, I really am. And I'm always going to come in the football seasons, even if we're the Jets, figuring out ways, right? Figuring out ways. And I had it as a 10, right? And because I wanted hope. Well, guess what? To the poll, Philadelphia Eagles fans should root for the team to not win another game this season. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, follow. Be fucking great today. Unlike our defense, hit a goddamn like button. Okay, to the poll. I never, ever, well, I have probably like when we were really bad, but never in a long time for football have said, you know what? I want to trust the process. I want to tank it out a little bit. I don't want to win another game. But guess what? After what I saw the last 2 weeks against really talented offensive football teams, okay, extremely talented, maybe two of the best offenses in the league, right? Top fives, both of them, top fives in some fashion. So many players. You sit back and you realize and you say to yourself, even though I'm a diehard and I wear it, I got to be honest. This defense doesn't have stars. They may have some good players. There's no stars. How many stars does this offense have? Right? So when you take a step back and you say, man, I need a lot here. And I don't trust my guy outside of like the top 10. I don't trust him to make the right pick. I don't trust him inside it, but I trust him a lot more inside it than outside of it because it's harder to fail, right? Because guys just fall into your lap sometimes. You would hope. But that being said, listen, I agree. I can't believe I'm saying it. I went for 10 wins, a tank. But I'm not saying I'm rooting for it. There'll become a point in time where that's like something that really will happen. We're 4 games in, right? So and we got 17 total. So I don't want to like say I'm going to go in totally rooting for it yet. But if it happens right now and we keep losing, I'm okay. Like I'm okay, right? I'm not okay. I'm not going to be okay with losing because of you want to see growth. But I'll just be like, okay, I'm okay. I know this guy can't coach, etc. Right? Or we just need more pieces, whatever the case may be. So that's where I'm at, guys. And people can talk me off the ledge. It's not a ledge. I just look at next year as the first time I'm going to be a fucking nerd. The first time I'm going to sit here and say, you know what? Winless for Wiggins, right? Essentially, like I'm going to find a couple guys that I really want, and I'm going to talk them into goddamn existence, and hopefully we pick them. And that's how we got to operate. That's how we got to operate. Because what else do we win? To be what, 500 though? Let me ask you, what's 500 do? 500, I still have unknowns. Okay, maybe I competed better, and I made, I shined the turd up a little bit. I don't want to shine it up if it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not good, if this isn't good, then go ahead and lose games.
Well, I mean, that's where you should have been at 10 wins too, then, right?
Yes, it was.
No,
it was a shine.
I'm not saying I'm saying if you can't win the Super Bowl, then nothing matters. You know what I mean? Like, and that's any team. Not just the Eagles. You know what I mean? So, like if you hope you play well and you're good enough, you pick up some pieces and you surprise some people and you get a ticket to the dance and anything can happen. But realistically, you'd have to.
There was no Super Bowl aspiration.
Yeah, you'd have to be an absolute idiot or a fucking complete homer to think that the Eagles had a chance to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
It was 10 wins max if things went well, and in reality, that was asking a hell of a lot, right? In reality, and that's what I do. And then I'm going to be real with the people and tell you that this team stinks. This defense isn't good enough. I don't care if it was the Chiefs. I don't care if it was Dallas. They're top echelon offenses. They expose you for your weaknesses, and you see
the same league as them.
Yeah, so you see a lot. Offensively, there was things we'll talk about that are positives. There was negatives, but there's positives. So, the Chiefs defense is atrocious, like I told people, right? Coming in, that's their Achilles heel.
Stupid score.
See you, Pittsburgh.
Steelers, wow.
Ain't good. But listen, that's where I stand. I agree. What do you guys think about it? Family out there, what do you guys think about it? Are you in the mode of, I want a top 5? I want Dolphins to be top 10 too. So I have 2 top 10s. Like, what are you in the mode for now? I hate to say I'm not. We play Carolina next, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to go win that football game, just to be clear, people, right? But if we lose it, like, that's the game that's going to talk. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm officially out on just trying to be competitive. But I don't see the point now because I see all the holes, right? So it's just like wanting to be good or in the mix for false hope. Right.
Well, yeah, you knew
I don't want
anything, like you said, anything prior to the season. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen. But that's the reason why I said I had him at 1-6. To start. I mean, I know you can. I'm not trying to be. There's still 3 games left, so I'm not trying to. There's no pounding of the chest. It was more scheduled, not as much as they could do. You know what I mean? Like, and you could win some of those games. I'm not saying you couldn't. You know what I mean? But I had Atlanta and a lot of trouble, and then 6 straight. You know what I mean? And that's before Carolina was. I thought I didn't really have any respect for Carolina, but I thought at home that's a tough game. You know what I mean? Now Carolina's playing well. You know what I mean? Vegas. People think they're frauds. Okay, we'll see. You still got to go to Vegas. You know what I mean? With vacation for most people. So we'll see how those 2 games turn out. The Bucks. You hope you don't lose by 40. You know what I mean? So that's 1-4. All right, with two road games. Mixed in to see what happens. With those other ones, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of way I looked at it. You know what I mean? The division is always going to suck, you know what I mean? But you can see that the Cowboys, unless you're an absolute hater, are head and shoulders better. It's just, they just are, you know what I mean? And that's, and it's not easy to say. It's not like, it's easy to say now, 4 weeks in. I mean, on paper, they were going into the season. Now they always find a way. Jerry Jones finds a way to get in his, to stick his nose in, and they find a way to take the fucking heat and they do what Cowboys do. You know what I mean? It's been a long time, and we like to remind those there's people from 1995. How long it has actually been, but that defense is much better. I know they don't have names. I know they don't have guys up front. You know what I mean? But Parsons, excuse me, as a albeit a rookie, it makes them instantly better. And I love Diggs. You know what I mean? Like,
I love Diggs.
Whenever
you guys know how we all felt about Parsons too. We all love Parsons.
Yeah, the Monday show. I don't know who it was. One of the Young Bucks was like, they're making Diggs look good. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Because he is good.
I'm like, Young Buck, you have to go back to school, buddy. You know what I mean? Like,
But no, Sweeps, to your point though, it's like, yeah, I mean, there was obviously the argument of that's where this team most likely should start on like a 1-6, 2-5 type start, right? Because there were so many unknowns, right? Even take out the factor of me wanting them to be competitive early before the season started. There was question marks because we all said here, dude, an injury or two, this team's completely different. And that injury or two said, hold your beer, in reality, because, I know injuries happen, but you lose BG.
Four-fifths of your offensive line?
Yeah, you lose BG, then Brooks is going to be on, so that doesn't even matter, right? But then your offensive line's the same thing. But the offensive line played good today. But
no, I did. I agree.
There's not even a ton of injuries. They're just this football team just isn't good enough, right? And it's as simple as that. Simple as that.
Yeah. So I mean, as not being a fan. Sorry, I'll just answer the question real quick. I would say disagree. Just because, as a fan, like, not being an Eagle fan, but as a Sixer fan going through that, I remember how miserable that was, what I mean? And you just can't find yourself doing it. Now, when it happens, you're not as mad, what I mean? You want your team to compete. I wanted the Sixers, in that 9-win, 10-win season, that we all went through hell with, hey, you just play tough through the fourth. And then, in the last minute, if you happen to lose, oops, and we're okay with it. You know what I mean? But we weren't wearing the other team's colors. We weren't, yelling at the screen, when we made a jump shot. You weren't actively doing any of those things. You know what I mean? Because as a fan, you're not going. It'll make you a fraud. You're not going to be. I know you're thinking about the future and all that good stuff, but you're not. You just can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can. Anybody can do whatever they want. I'm just saying, like, every Sunday or every Monday or every Thursday, you're still going to be jazzed up. All right. If there's a home game and you're going, you get a chance to tailgate and hang out with friends, or if you're home on your recliner and you got your fucking green hat on and you got your fucking green glasses on, you're all in. And then, let the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, you'll see how the season, pans out. But like I said, if it goes to 1-6, yeah, that doesn't look good. But like I said, the division's still bad enough where, I'm not saying they're going to win it because I already just told you that the Cowboys are head and shoulders better. But Eagles are better than the Skins and the Giants. All right, so there should be 4 wins right there, and that's the problem. Yeah, listen, they could split them. I know it's a division. I'm not saying that they're layups, and it's an absolute. But if you look at those, you say to yourself, "Oh, could the Eagles be better than anybody?" They're better than those two teams. I mean, the Giants got one today. It's the NFL. That's how it works. You know what I mean? And crab legs is always going to be a failure. That's bottom line. So to his family and to all supporters, crab legs. He's crab legs. All right? I mean, that's what week 1 was a little window dressing. Oh, it was so cute, 5 touchdowns. He stinks, and that's exactly what happened there. And the Skins. Listen, I love Ron Rivera, so they're gonna play tough and. I do like the Heineke kid. I mean, he's not the answer. He's not. You're going to be your NFL prototype guy. You know what I mean? But he might do enough where he can get one maybe in Washington. So you could wind up splitting those games. They're not 4 wins like where you just circle them. The Eagles aren't. That's not going to happen. Eagles would never do that to anybody. You know what I mean? Because they can easily just throw shit to bed like they did the 2 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? They competed today. I mean that's a winnable game. Obviously, I know the score dictates it, you know what I mean? But at the time, that's a winnable game. If you got to win today's game, easier said than done, like 38-35. That's what's going to happen because you can't expect, even though the defense was atrocious, that's a good offense. I know they were on the struggle bus for a couple weeks, yada, yada, yada. They got explosive players. They got fucking all-stars all over when you turn a corner, you know what I mean? So you weren't expecting to hold them to 17-20, you know what I mean? but you got an opportunity to win that game 38-35. And to me, it happens obviously in the red zone. I'm not here to kill the kid, right? The kid.
No, it did. Sweeps. It did.
At the end of the day, the stats are there, right? So people that are watching, don't be nerds and don't just look at the box score. Yes, the stats are there. He threw 48 times, right? And he ran for another 47. So he's got like 400 yards total offense. That's great. I'm not here to crush the kid, but you gotta fucking finish drives with touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
That first drive, that throw to Ertz is a JV throw. It's got to be made. That's a touchdown. The throw to Greg Ward has to be made. That's a JV throw. It's got to be a touchdown. Don't tell me about penalties. Don't tell me about the refs. Don't tell me about it. There's 2 touchdowns that you got to have. All right. And listen, all quarterbacks miss throws, right? But not when you're 2-7, your record, you know what I mean? Because quarterbacks get judged by wins and losses. All right. And I know it's early on in his career, and Greg had alluded to it earlier that, people that have watched him for a long time know that, what's in there. Doesn't mean he can't get better. Doesn't mean he's not going to, be exciting and have those explosive plays. But what do I tell my infielders all the time? Make the routine play. I don't care about the spectacular play.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bonus. You got to make the routine play. And those 2 throws were fucking as routine can get.
Sweeps, I yelled and screamed about it. If you wanted to win this football game, that Zach Ertz throw's got to be on the money.
Yep.
NFL quarterbacks make that throw all day. The problem is you can't make the excuse that he's young on that throw. That throw just needs to be made. There's no like built-in excuse on that.
They should be easy. They're open.
The Greg Ward. I said the same thing. People were like, "Oh, it hit his hands." Like, stop with the hit hands. That's got to be on the.
That's what my buddy said. My buddy said 50-50. I said, "Bro, you're drunk. Take the glasses off, dude. It's full extension. It hit his hands with full extension. I mean, give the guy a break. You know what I mean? I'm not crowning Greg Ward. I don't.
Yeah, but he's not like Odell Beckham.
You know what I mean? I don't care about Greg. You give 2 shits about Greg Ward.
He's not Odell Beckham, though. He's not like ripping it one-handed. He got gigantic hands, or he would have been a quarterback. You know what I mean? He would have stayed being a quarterback if he had big hands, Greg Ward. So,
the Ertz one, not the one he missed on. The one that Ertz should have had was, I know he was draped on and stuff like that, but that's when you fight through. You're a veteran receiver, had 100 catches one year. You got to find a way to fucking pull that in and get it to your body, and that's the 7. That's a good throw.
Yeah,
inside ball where only his guy can get it. All right, and like you said, you take the guy's draped on him, whether he's early or not. The degree of difficulty isn't an easy catch, but it's a catch. It has to be made.
Ted, but that's not Mr. Reliable. That's not a good ball. Like that's a 5-yard throw that just needs to be on the chest.
Yeah.
Or even not even on the chest. Because we've said that's extension. He's extending on that. That's not a good ball at all. Like we're not trying to kill the guy. Give him a B- today. A B-. He did some really good things today. At times he stepped up in the pocket well. At times he went through some progressions better today than he did last week. So I'm going to give him credit for the things he does well, and then I'm going to crush him for the things he doesn't do well, and that's how it works. I mean, that's just fair. We got to find out if he's the guy.
Is he talking about Greg Ward or is he talking about Ertz? I guess Ted's talking about Ertz, right?
No, the Ertz got to be caught. The Ertz got to be caught.
No, but I'm saying, he said, forget about the Ward drop. He's supposed to be Mr. Reliable. So
I don't know if he's talking about
Ertz. You know what I mean? Like we're fine with you if you're talking. You know what I mean? That's where I was confused there. So I need you to elaborate there. You know what I mean? I know you put a comma there, but.
Yeah.
I think Trey Lance is in for Jimmy G. Like Jimmy G was on the sideline with no helmet.
He might be, Greg.
That Deebo Samuel over passing yards is now looks like a loss if Trey Lance is in the game.
Yeah, listen, the defense, like Swoop said, the last 2 offenses you face are explosive, right? But it just shows you how many holes you have defensively because you can't slow them down at all. So that's what it shows you. Not that they're not great on the other side. It just shows you that I don't have any firepower or water. I have no water to put the fire out over here. I have no impact players that are going to help me up front. They get the Mahomes enough that make him uncomfortable today. I don't have any of that. So you learn some things today. But like Slee said, this is a winnable football game. That's what makes me more mad. I told Ryan today, he's like, oh, you want him to play close and lose it's fine. No, because if you play close and lose a game like this, it shows me that there's going to be mistakes that happen that cost you a football game. And the mistakes are those 2 balls and a ton of penalties are a big part of it. But Greg, go ahead.
Again, I'm sorry. I'm going to give Greg the microphone. I just want to respond.
No, you're good.
I just want to respond to that real quick.
We just talked for 3 hours, so you're good, bro.
Not saying you're wrong. Not saying you're wrong about the defense there, Mansa, but it changes the game. If you get 2 touchdowns there, it's just a different game. It doesn't matter. You can't look at the outcome and say 42-30. Oh, they still lost the game. No, like it changes the game. All right, the game, the score is different. All right, so then maybe, even though his coaching staff is a bunch of fucking idiots, maybe it changes some play calls. I don't know what it does. It's just a different game. You know what I mean? That's all. It makes it a different game.
It's momentum. You don't know how the momentum's going to go.
Yeah, listen, listen. Nobody's.
What do we say, Greg?
I'm sure he's trying to protect. He's trying to protect the kid, and nobody's here absolutely screaming from the mountaintops and blaming him. You know what I mean? The kid played his ass off. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Do you want to evaluate? Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, look in the mirror. You want to be an evaluator, or you want to be a homer? All right, or you just want to keep patting people on the ass, and that's the world we live in. I know it's 2021, so it's a big ass patting, big ass patting, all right, country we live in. All right, hey man, here, put this diaper on, let me pat your ass. All right, instead of saying, hey man, stop shitting all over the fucking place. All right, clean your fucking life up, clean your life up. You know what I mean? And that's all we're saying. Like nobody's taking anything away from the kid. There are 2 throws that have to be made. That's all. I'm not going to emphasize it again. Not going to go nuts about it, but come on. And they got to be made.
Listen, he had good throws. He had bad ones, but the bad ones were in big spots that were red zones. And like you said, you don't know how the momentum's going to go. You convert the Ertz, you're up 7-0, not 3-0. That's a statement drive. That's everybody in the building's feeling delicious, right? So what you showed offensively is I'll say this, you're right there to be able to hang offensively with a team like that right now. But I don't know. It's going to be week to week with this guy, right?
On defense too. So once, like to your point, I mean, is that a Band-Aid? Or I mean, like I said, no, we don't take anything away from how the Eagles played offensively today, but that's a bad defense. That's a bad defense. You know what I mean?
I said on Wednesday.
I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying like you still got to go play. You still got to go put points up. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to take anything away. I mean, the last 7 that was garbage. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. People want to.
It was a good pass.
Yeah.
Tweets. I joked on Wednesday about like how how could they win because everybody picked them to lose, and it's like, well, simple. I mean, they got a bad defense, so you make a couple statement drives. You get a big interception like they did. You get a fumble recovery or a block punt, and they had the fumble recovery where Arcega-Whiteside hit the guy and the ball went rolling, and a Kansas City guy jumped on it. As soon as that happened and we didn't recover that, I said, okay, they're the plays you need to have in a game like this to be able to hang, right? Because they're better than you. So you need something like, a kick returner being an idiot or a punt returner being too cute and a scoop and score or just a scoop just to change the momentum for 5 minutes of a game. And they were there, and again, young offense bit themselves in the ass either from penalties, bad throws, etc. And this is why you lose today.
Well, I mean, like I said, you're lucky. Like I said, you got to be lucky and opportunistic, and you got to take advantage of those stuff. That stuff. You know what I mean? So at the end of the half, that's self-inflicted. You know what I mean? That's got to be slow the game down, call timeout, do whatever you got to do. But the Eagles are fortunate there. That's not a scoop and score. I mean, I have no idea how two guys missed it. All right, so that's 7. And then the Eagles, and then the lineman recovered it. Great hustle by him, or that's an automatic 3. You know what I mean? So you dodged a disaster right there at the end of the half, and they were getting the ball back. You know what I mean? And then, but you had a nice little, I think you got the pick in that first drive after halftime too. So you're able to grab some momentum there. You know what I mean? But
well, you know what, Bill? First off, there's no agenda. And everybody sat here, and if you listen to live reactions, I gave the guy B-. I thought he showed growth today in some aspects of his game. So I mean, no, but it's not one pass; it's 2, and they are routine throws at this level that I need you to make, and that's why he's a B- and not an A+, Bill, right? I mean, he makes those 2 throws. We're talking A+. That's the difference of A+ and B-.
Play better. He did not play better than Mahomes.
I mean, come on.
I'm not even going to respond to that. I'm not even fucking responding to that part.
The guy threw 5 touchdowns, and they ran the ball for 200 yards. So if you want to take out the reverses or you want to take out Mahomes' number, the 2 running backs, they ran for $150. All right, so they did what they had to do. And You know, he didn't throw it. I don't think he threw it. He had to throw it 48 times like Hurts.
You know, he threw it 30 times.
Yeah, he threw a fucking
Tyreek had a hat trick and 200 yards. I agree. I agree to the bowl. I mean, you look at the last 2 home games, right? What do you want from your teams? You know, especially teams that you want to potentially compete, right? Handle your games at home. You know, beat up on the teams on the road that you should beat up on, right? Go 500 on the road.
Yeah.
You had 2 upper echelon teams, or going into the year, what people thought of upper echelon teams. You had them at home in fairly winnable games in San Fran and today, right? I mean, if you, as Sweeps alluded to and we alluded to earlier, if we convert a couple more of those field goals into touchdowns, who knows what today's game turned into?
Yep.
But it was there. It was winnable. We were in the game for the most part. Same thing with San Fran. When you go out and then you lose those 2 games, because we were never in the Dallas game, right? We were never in the Dallas game. But those games were at home. And those are the ones that sting. And those are the ones that burn you because you're at home. The other teams are traveling, whatnot, and you should be playing better at home. And the things that continue to come up week after week after week continue to come up week after week. Undisciplined, leading the league in penalties, 0 rushing game, 0. And then, yes, Jalen played very well today. Don't disagree. But again, we cannot forget those few throws where he did it, where he wasn't on the money. And it showed, right? And that's it. The defense played putrid, but who knows, right? If we score a touchdown there, I said it, earlier, instead we'd be 14-14, happy with a field goal there at the end to go up 17-14. Even if they score then, we're still within a score, as opposed to now, they score, they go up 8, and all of that happens. And it's one mess after another. Absolutely. I had him at 6 wins, so I didn't have him very much further ahead of tanking anyway.
But I mean,
but I'm there. I've been there. I wanted complete dumpster fire because I don't know if anything but a complete dumpster fire potentially gets any change anywhere from the organization, whether that's Howie, right? Whatever it is. I don't think anything but a complete dumpster fire doesn't garner any change.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc.
We're finishing this up, and we'll get right to you.
One second. I just want to,
the dumpster fire won't change anything. The only thing the dumpster fire you hold out hope for is that you nail picks, right? That's the only thing, and I hate looking forward to that because that usually doesn't age well for organizations, especially ones that don't have a good track record of doing it. But that's the thing. Like, okay, yeah, dumpster fire, but I don't think anything changes, Greg.
To Billy, I'm going by, just going back to Bill real quick before we welcome the doc in. You know what I mean? Because if he's talking to people in the chat or talking to us, there's no agenda here, right? It's the reason why it's the most important offensive position in football. All right, the reason why they win the MVPs in the Super Bowl or the regular season, all right, 90% of the time, right? Because that's your leader. That's the most important position. You got your hands on the ball all the time, right? You have a chance to put your stamp on the game, right? So that's why you got to be critical of that position. Plus, it's a win-loss position, right? So I know it's early on, and we'll see how the rest of the 17 games pan out for the young man, all right? But that's unfortunately that's how the position is graded and looked at. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you want to be elite, you got to win, all right? Or you can just be middle of the pack, or you can be a good quarterback that has good fantasy stats. Yippee! Or you want to be elite and a guy that wins, right? So don't tell me about what you saw today or outplayed Mahomes. Come on, dude, 42-30. I understand it's a team game, but at the end of the day, winning and losses. Come on, man.
Yeah, so he's 2-6 as a starter right now, right? Yeah. So, we just keep adding them up, and people can continue to say how early it is, but 2-6 as a starter, and you're judged off of that stuff. So, those numbers are real. But we welcome in the doc. I don't know if I don't know if he can hear us because I don't know if maybe,
I got you.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were frozen because you're frozen on our end. But you look good though. You're frozen, but you look good.
I do love that look out of you.
Great, it's a great backdrop. You got a great setup. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy. You hear about him
Yeah, man.
on every show. You hear about him. Here he is. Doc, were you able to watch the massacre today?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw all of it.
Yeah.
First game I saw in a while in its entirety. Yeah, I mean, you had some hopes in the beginning, and then it almost seems like you start seeing the wheels come off one at a time there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's I guess it was better than last week, but we still lost. Like you said, it's about wins and losses. So I mean, if anything, it looks like their offense had a little more pep to it. But man, the defense, dude, they really can't stop the run or anything right now.
Yeah, it was the whole thing was concerning when they never changed coverage or never brought more guys in the box or never said we're going to bring some pressure and try to make you uncomfortable. There was nothing like when you play somebody great. My whole thought process is I got to take the fight to them, and if they beat me that way, then so be it. But I'm going to be a guy who's going to blitz you a lot. I'm going to be a guy who's going to disguise blitzes and drop out. I'm going to do different things. I'm probably always bringing 5. I'm probably always going to bring somebody extra just to make you uncomfortable, make somebody block somebody. So I'm really concerned over. I hate to say scheme because I'm not that guy, but I really am concerned over scheme of the defensive coordinator because it doesn't look good. It does not look good, and I don't care that it's the Chiefs. I get it, but you got to at least do something different once or twice. Once or twice. That's it. We're not asking you to go crazy here. But let me ask you about. I would ask you about Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I had them win this game, but
but when they have a chance, it makes it worse. That's the problem. When they have a chance and you're like, okay, they're in it, it makes it worse. But let me ask you a question about a guy who, Doc. I'm going to ask you a question about a guy who is a big leader of this football team, and they lost him. And since they lost him, the defense has proceeded to give up a ton of points, which you can't expect one guy makes that much of a difference, but that's the facts, it looks like. But the defense give up a ton of points, and that's Brandon Graham in the Achilles. And now he's one of these guys that is in his, I would say later life of his NFL career. What kind of chances does he have to come back and play at even a close level of what he did before?
Yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, look at all the guys that had Achilles injuries, and even in different sports. Like Kobe is like one of the big guys that's done that, right? And I mean, he's just a phenomenal athlete. And granted, listen, he's not the same size and weight as Brandon Graham, but I mean, or he wasn't. I mean, but the force of jumping and landing, certainly. I mean, he was able to come back from that. But like this guy Graham, I mean, it's his weight, the force that he has to produce. I mean, there's huge factors. It doesn't mean he can't come back, but I'm not sure he's going to be the same guy that he was before.
Yeah, it's hard for younger guys, right? I mean, no matter what age you are, it's hard for these guys to come back, and then better yet at his age. I just had a Greg.
I mean, I'm not sure how old he is. What was he, like 30 something?
33 maybe.
Yeah.
Graham?
Yeah.
I think he's older than that.
How much older is he than that? I mean,
33. You're spot on.
Usually I'm Greg. I'm here for you.
First time.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't talk good. Usually you never nail it. You're like 34.
Timer.
First timer.
Yeah, but either way, it's not like he's in his mid 20s or late 20s. I mean, that makes a big difference. I mean, the healing time definitely is affected by age. I mean, we all know that. So it's it's going to be an uphill for him. But not an impossibility. Again, are we going to expect the same explosiveness or strength or mobility that he possessed before? I mean, obviously time will tell, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, I think so too. If he plays good football here again by the end of his contract, I'll be surprised. Like good football. I'm not saying he doesn't play again, just good football. But he is a good run stopper, and I think that can continue to be the same. My concern is him getting after the quarterback.
Yeah.
You lose that burst.
Well, you look at the first two games, man, they could have used a run stopper. Or these last two games, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, they got run over last week big time. And then, I didn't think it was as bad this week, but it's still, they couldn't stop it. But yeah, they need somebody.
No, they didn't even come close to stopping it today.
Hey, Doc, Jordan Mailata with the knee sprain, they said he suffered a setback. What type of testing and I guess work were they doing with him throughout the week to kind of test out that knee sprain to where he would have had a setback to where he wasn't able to play potentially today?
Yeah, sure. So sure. I mean, it's just the physical exam or the office exam. They're taking them through the range of motion, mobility. They're stressing the ligaments, what they call stress testing. They're looking at his strength and comparing it left to right. I'm not sure what side it was, but and then obviously if it's like one of the collateral ligaments, like the lateral and medial collateral ligament, they're looking for tenderness and swelling, things like that, to kind of determine rate of healing. But then they get him on the field, like how well can he, move lateral? Can he go forward and backward? That type of stuff. And, that's probably the determination. I mean, if it wasn't a tear, then they're not going to redo an MRI or anything. They're just going to say, okay, how's he doing? How's he feeling? And how's he look just doing the basic movements? And if he can't do that, then he's not going to get back on the field.
Yeah, no, and I guess you're right. If you can't do that, then that's where the setback comes in, potentially as a slight re-injury too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he practiced during the week or not. So, 'cause I'm not sure how he got his setback, or maybe he did, and you move a certain way and you plan to turn, or maybe he got inadvertently bumped into or hit by another person. Yeah, I don't know how that, I don't know how he got, how it got aggravated.
Yeah, I'm not sure how his.
It didn't say.
I think it was in game.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously he was a big factor in that first win, but we'll see. I mean, depending on the degree of the strain or sprain of the ligament, I mean, it could be 1 or 2 weeks, or be longer, and maybe he can do well with putting a brace, on his knee, doing some extra external support, which would help, allow the knee to take some hits and then give him some confidence to move around. That's a thing.
I need to block a spammer. I think I got him. All right. the old NFL spammers. You gotta love them. Doc, I'll get into injuries again, but do you think this coach can coach?
Well, is brain injured? Brain injured?
Brain injured. Wait, where did he play again? Was it Mount Zion? Where did he play?
Mount Union.
Yeah.
Division III powerhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I never played organized football, so I'm the armchair guy, so I really couldn't say. But I mean, he obviously has something. I mean, there's got to be other candidates out there. So, I mean, if he was the only guy and that's the only guy they can hire, then I get it. But, I guess he has some ability and skill. I mean, it's, I know you say it's early on, and that's true. But, we're racking up some losses here. But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if his chapter's fully written or even begun, really. Well, I guess it's begun. But
which is fair. On that. Which is fair. I'll say he can't coach. I'll say it I'll say it. I'll say it out loud. I got major concern.
Hasn't been a good start. I mean, and what we were concerned about, from the media side was, was he a puppet? And that's obviously what it looks like. It looks like Laurie just wants to keep meddling, and then obviously Howie, the combo between Howie and Jeffrey is not a good one. So.
Yeah, so then it's interesting. Like if it's the Howie and Laurie show, I mean, then and if they're like if they're what's really holding this team back, so to speak, or and not getting the right guys in there. I mean, was Doug just I don't know, like they won it, but was that just by luck? Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
No, there was a guy that he couldn't control anymore. I mean, Greg will tell you it was luck. He hates him, but
yep.
But there was a guy that wanted needed a voice. Was going to pick his own staff, and. and be involved in the draft picks. You know what I mean? So, and it looked like he was starting to lose control of that. And they like you said, they want a guy that they're going to be like, hey, just sit over there. We got this. You know what I mean? You just make sure your whistle's clean. Shine your whistle up, and we'll see you out on the field.
Yeah, and to me that's so weird. Like as the owner, like.
What were we saying, Doc?
I think the owner, man. No, I mean to me, like the general manager and the coach, right? In this case, Howie and Sirianni. Like to me, the owner should be like a person. Just that's what they are. They own the team. Like you hire the people to make the decisions to do the like. Why are you, it's like a Jerry Jones type of thing, or I think maybe is Jerry Jones the general manager too for his team? I forget. But anyway, point is like. The owner should just like you own the team you got your people and then like step away, let it ride, let it happen, man. It's just like, if you got your hand in too many places, like people always look over the shoulder,
Yeah, stay away. Stay away. Jerry Jones' son's actually the GM now.
Yeah, Steven. Yeah.
So close enough.
But no, you're right. 100% right on. You know what I mean? But when they write the checks, they feel like they got to get involved. But, you should trust the people that you put in place, to do that. And then you could, sit back and start firing people. I mean, obviously, I would love to be, independently wealthy and own a team because I would fire people, on the spot. Like some guys wouldn't even make it to halftime. And you're like, oh, you're out of control. You're an issue. I am. That's it. You know what I mean? Here you go. You know what I mean? Like, don't, no, you're not coming in here. Go that way. All right. I'm going to need you to leave through the stands. Right? Everybody throw tomatoes at you. You know what I mean? So, in that sense where I'd be dangerous, you know what I mean? But I would, as far as like the X's and O's, I would leave that alone. You know what I mean? I try to get guys in. The more you micromanage, you're just going to make things worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you said, why hire people to do a job and then jump in on what they're doing? It's about trusting. It's about trusting the guys you're hiring so that you can sit back and make money because you're winning football games. I mean, that's how you should want it.
Yeah,
that's how you should want it.
Get a young guy that has no voice and is going to, is happy to be an NFL head coach and he's going to do what he's told. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's got to be some give and take. I mean, that's not good. Even if the guy wasn't young, that shouldn't happen if the guy was a young coach or a wily veteran coach. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's just constantly telling you what to do, right? Then your brain's going to turn to mush. Then you're not thinking for yourself, and you can see, that's what's happening. It's leaking on the field, because he looks like he don't know what he's doing on the field.
Yeah, I mean that's like it's not even in sports. I mean, sports is a business too, right? Like so, but it's any company. Like any successful company has people. They know why they're there. They're doing their job, and they do it. And they don't have like owners like second guessing or constantly over their shoulder. They're in an environment that they can like thrive in. And I know that sounds kind of like cliches, but it's true, right? And the companies that kind of like suffer or don't do well kind of have something like this that we have in Philadelphia a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to change here. Young Jay, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, Young Jay.
We all have concerns. I don't know if they wanted this mess, but I just think they know more than everybody else. I think it's more the case, and they're finding out that's not true. Doc, what are the things? Tell the people some of the things you guys got going on right now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we actually had a pretty busy September getting back in. We did a bunch of events with 5Ks, which we started a relationship with a running store, Roadrunner Sport. There's no that factory behind there, but that's a great store. Involved. We have a couple of things coming up again with the township, so that people get out and enjoy the weather, hopefully, and enjoy. And then just staying busy, man.
Doc, you kind of broke up there. What was the relationship with the?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what?
With the running store?
See something here. Yeah. Roadrunner Sports is just a local just kind of communicate with them and kind of it's a great store. If you need some good running shoes, things like that, they can help you out. And since we support a lot of the 5Ks in the area, it was kind of a natural type of and support runners out there. I think we're ever injured and so on and so forth, they come in and we can check them out.
Okay, gotcha. Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then actually October is National Physical Therapy Month. So that's our month, man. We have October, so we'll be kind of promoting physical therapy throughout the month. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's great. There's a national everything, right?
Yeah, there is, man.
National.
I don't think we have a wristband though.
No, you need a wristband. Yeah, I think there's a national podcast.
Yeah.
Like a national, but we don't have a month. We just have a day.
And they couldn't give you a better month than October.
Yeah.
Like October is great, but it doesn't promote like a whole bunch of physical activity. They need to give you a summer month, Doc.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, but we'll take it, man. It's but that's the key, man. You just said movement, man. Keep people moving, man. I tell patients we got plenty of time to rest later, if you know what I mean. So it's all about movement. Keep yourself going.
Yeah, stay moving. All right, Doc, you're breaking up on us a little bit. But
yeah, that's right. I'm not sure if that's my audio. I mean, my headset or not.
I don't know.
Okay.
I know that. I know StreamYard's been weird with certain things. So there's been a lot of issues out there on the Twitter world about StreamYard. People haven't been happy. People haven't been happy out there.
Disgruntled.
Where's that comment at? Yeah,
Daniel Jones threw a four burger. Wow.
Well, that's why you see. That's why you can't just look at the numbers though.
No, yeah.
Like, just in general, like you can't just you can't just go to a box score and say, "Oh, this guy played extremely well in a loss." Well, what else happened, right? Like, what else happened with my eyes during that game? Yeah. And that's going to continue to be my concern. Is okay, you can tell me, Tom, I'm giving him a B-, so I think he had a good day, but you can't run from the fact that there's two throws that I need you to make and you didn't, and they're the biggest ones. They're the ones when you need touchdowns, and I don't expect us to win today, but when you have opportunities to hang in a football game or maybe even shock the world, and you come up small in those opportunities, how do you just pass it off? Like, how do you just say, well, how do you have built-in excuses for it? And the built-in excuse will either be numbers or A, B, C, and D. But I told you all the things he did well today. Really talking about Bill. Like, I told you all the things he did well. Stepping up in the pocket better, right? Being a little bit more on time with his throws. But he had two big throws that, if you ask him, I'm sure he would love to have back. So how do you not sit back at home and say, damn, right? I wonder what would happen if we complete those two balls. I don't know. That's another 8 points, essentially. Since you got field goals out of them, it's another 8 points left on the board. And what does that do for momentum? I don't know. Maybe a lot. I don't think Greg needs to catch it. I think that's a tough catch, but whatever.
It's whatever everyone wants to see. There's no way to argue.
No, everybody sees it differently.
See what they want to see, and I'm not saying listen, I'd be the first one to tell you that he should have called it. I mean, it's full. but it's full extension. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure what they want. So it is what it is. To me, I feel like it's protect gate. All right, so keep protecting all the way. We'll see. Keep protecting, through 17 games and see what next year brings, and keep protecting and see if that's your guy. I mean, let's see. Keep protecting or be real and be critical. You know what I mean? And and applaud the dude when he, when he has great throws and he does things right and he he does special things. But like we talked about earlier, make the routine play, right? Make the routine throw, right?
Yep.
Make the easy throws. And easy throws, you want to be elite, all right? Or you want to, start your way to becoming elite, whatever you want to call yourself. You gotta make those throws. That's just the way it goes. And you can say, listen, everybody misses throws. Okay, do they? Well, some more than others. So.
And then what separates the quarterbacks? The ones that don't miss those throws and the ones who make those throws.
And the guys that make the throws win, right? So at the end of the day, they get paid a lot of money, and some of them win chips.
Yeah, listen, it makes me laugh. But it's all right. It's all right. We'll see where it goes. He's got 17 games to continue to try to improve and air quote prove people wrong, right? That he can be the guy, because the best thing for the Eagles is if he's the guy. And you don't have to go drafting a quarterback again next year, right? Or the year after or whatever.
Both of them too, in reality. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
the ideal.
we need both of them to be the right guy. We don't need to go through another coaching search either.
No, you don't want either. Yeah, exactly. Like you want both. You want both to be the guys. You don't want to go through all this again.
Randall Cobb again. Wow.
He loves him. He loves being back in Green Bay.
He does. Can I get a little Devontae love, please?
I'm up big. I'll give you. You can have a little tasty pill. You can have a tasty pill.
Am I playing you again?
No. I mean, just like I'm playing against him in another league.
Yep, we need a lot of things, guys. We need a lot of things.
So here's a quote from Highlighter Boy on Jalen Hurts. Make you laugh on Jalen Hurts' performance today. It was one of the best QB performances I've seen in my time in the NFL. Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck, etc. He battled and made good reads, throws.
Did he say one of the best performances he's ever seen?
It was one of the best QB performances I've seen in my time in the NFL.
Today?
Wow. I'm all.
Just gonna leave that one right there.
I'm all for promoting your players and giving them confidence, but I can name you off a lot right off the top of my head that are way better performances than this, and this comes in a loss
in week 4, not even a playoff game.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think he's the ones that he's physically been a part of.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Andrew Luck's had a lot of good games.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, a Hall of Famer.
It's week 4. Week 4 of a loss. Not even week 4 of a W. So it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Listen, this is the kind of guy that like him and Gannon would have been gone after today, like Sweep said. Like this is the kind of like the ongoing penalties, the dumb comments, the T-shirts, being everybody's best friend. Like, okay, you're creeping me out, dude. Now you have 17 highlighters on your visor. Like there's too many things that scream I can't coach, and one just making outlandish statements like that. You lost. And it's week 4, not a playoff game. Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm a little slow, but I just figured out who my highlighter boy was. Thanks, man. I got it now. That's too funny, man.
We are, though, Jeremiah. I mean, I've done 5 hours on air today. Like 5 hours. We appreciate the super chat, too. I've done 5 hours, and so has Greg. Since 1:30, we've been talking Eagles. And we have hammered Jonathan Gannon. He would have been fired at halftime. Okay,
absolutely.
And maybe we give him the full game. He's fired afterwards. And we talked about linebackers every year in the draft. All right, I begged for Patrick Queen or Kenneth.
You wanted Queen. I wanted Murray. Both linebackers though.
Both available.
So
both available.
We talked about the defense's future, and that's why I need as many first-round high picks as I can get next year, so I can start to address the holes, right? So I don't know what else to say about that, but there are a lot of guys on the defense that won't be back next year. I can tell you one thing: the quarterback's under contract. Either if he's either if he's your starter or not. So, what are we going to talk about? We didn't make the quote that he had the greatest performance of all time. You know what I mean? Like one of the
lock
best
in for Denver. Sorry.
No, you're good. Oh my goodness, one of the greatest performances in my time in the NFL.
Well, I mean, it goes with the rock paper scissors theme. You know what I mean? Like we knew that from day one. You know what I mean? Like some people liked it because they're immature. They thought that was cool. Hey man, he just likes to have fun. He just wants to keep his guys loose. You know what I mean? And us normal people are like, that's stupid. You know what I mean? Like I play that with my 6-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? Like I'm like. Can you give me a beer or rock, paper, scissors? And I'll get up. You know what I mean? Like, not about, how I'm making depth charts and stuff like that. I mean, come on. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And it's now translated from that to on the field stuff. And then, 6 highlighters. All right. None of them work. So maybe, find one that works, throw the other 2 away and maybe stay away from a microphone because you just, you're going to continue, to have people just, spit fire at you when you say silly stuff like that. Like you said, you can promote your guys all the way through, buddy, all the way through. We expect that. That's what you should do. Run through a wall for them, right? But after a loss, is that what you want to hear as an Eagle fan? Some do because they have the agenda. All right, that's what they want to. Oh, see, I told you he outplayed Mahomes. I told you Sirianni. Did you hear what Sirianni just said? He just said that was the best performance he's ever seen. All right. So I told you he outplayed Mahomes. There you have it. That's how you get to fire a fan. That's how the fan fires.
He played well, right?
He did play well.
That's it. That's where it ends. And then people say, well, why do you keep talking about him? Because people keep commenting about him in the comments and your coach keeps talking about him and greatness. So, I mean, I listen, I hope that's true. Like, I hope he ends up being great. I hope he is a franchise guy because you got him for cheap right now. And you can really build a roster and win football games. And I think any Eagles fan out there hopes that he can prove to be the guy, right? And guess what? It's all about responses, and he had a very good response from last week. All right? Very good response from last week. I believe that the kid's a fighter. I believe he's going to work hard. I believe all them things. Doesn't mean he's going to end up being a great quarterback. It doesn't mean it. Doesn't mean he can't be. But right now, if we're grading him out on the year, he's like a C- on the year. That's not franchise. He's like a C- on the year. He's at 2 Fs. He's at an A, and now he's at like a B-. Like, I don't know.
That was my thought. You think though, with all the criticism and the quote unquote feedback they got after last week's game, that they maybe use that to be better this week? You mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you think they built upon from last week? I mean, it was hard to not build upon because it basically did nothing last week. But you know what I mean? Like, you think they kind of improved in certain aspects, and obviously they got to continue to improve, but because they obviously didn't come out with the W. But you know what I mean? Like, do you think Sirianni maybe moved forward a little bit, or
no? Yeah, I think they came out like trying to prove people wrong and tried to give their best fight, and they're going against a team that they're not as good as, obviously.
Yeah, that's it.
And then it comes down to really when you're playing somebody better than you, to stay in it, you got to do every little thing right. And today they just didn't do every little thing right, and then too many costly penalties and stupid stuff like that. And that's the difference from you being, an 8 to 10 win team and you being a 3 or 4 win team. Is if you're gonna if you're gonna lead the National Football League in penalties, you're probably not going to be good. Like, you're just probably not going to be good. You might have maybe luckily have one more win than you do now, but you're not a good football team if you do that. It's not going to translate well. It's not going to last long. It's undisciplined, which means you're undisciplined on a lot of other things. You're undisciplined on assignments. You're undisciplined in route running. You're undisciplined in your blocking schemes. So that just tells me that the T-shirts and the best friends and all that hasn't aged well. And it's early, but it has not aged well. It just hasn't. So, this guy can run around the National Football League and be everybody's best buddy. But so far, that's proven to have an unfocused football team. And I don't know how you're not focused on a Monday night in Dallas. So, that's where it started. Like, I don't know how you're not focused that night. Today, good effort, per se. but still not focused enough. Still doing making dumb mistakes, the dumb penalties, and that all starts with coaching. That's the stuff that you're like, that's coaching. I know they don't play, and I know they probably harp it, but you might be too loose with your rock paper scissors. I'm not trying to run the guy out of town. I'm just trying to tell people how it is. He could turn out to be a great coach, maybe. Figure out and learn from his mistakes, maybe. But he's made a lot of field decisions that make me shake my head and scratch it. That's what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, another 11, we know about Monday's debacle on the ground, you know what I mean? But another 11 attempts today. I mean, if you count Reagor's reverse, you know what I mean? So really 10 attempts from your two running backs that stand on the quarterback, or stand next to him.
You guys didn't happen to hear the rant earlier about that, right? I mean, it's disgusting. When you play explosive offenses, it's like, okay, how do I hang in the game with them? Well, I run the football. I control the clock. I have long drives, etc. Right? I mean,
keep them off the field, yeah.
Yeah, it's non-existent, and that just tells me everybody in house doesn't know football, and that's scary, especially if the owner is making the calls.
Oh yeah, there we go, man.
Jeremiah, another one. Oh my goodness, Madon, we appreciate you.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Yeah, the penalties. There's a difference of being, 2-2 or 1-3, right? I mean, when you lead the National Football League in penalties, you're not going to be successful. And they don't have the talent to overcome it either. So it's one thing like if you do and you have a ton of talent, you can overcome it. They don't have the talent to overcome that stuff.
No, not at all.
So, that's where everybody has to understand they don't have an experienced elite quarterback to overcome it either. So, everybody, make sure everybody looks at his numbers tonight because he was perfect.
Hey guys, I got to check out, man. But it's always a pleasure.
Doc,
see you. Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Thanks for jumping on with us, everybody. That's the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal. Have him at least on once a month on a Sunday, but we talk about him all the time here, and you can find out all his information not only at specializedphysicaltherapy.com, but if you're an A2D follower, we're always posting up his different things, his newsletters, etc. So go check out what he's got going on over there at Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. See, Doc was breaking up on us a little bit there.
Yeah.
So it was tough it was a little tough to ask questions because he was breaking up. So we just kept rolling with you.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut him off, but the American League, I meant like the American League is wild. Yankees just won 1-0 in the bottom of the ninth. Judge hits a BB off the pitcher's glove, run scores, so they're in. And the Red Sox were life or death with the Nationals, 5-5 top line. Devers just hit one in downtown Baltimore. 7-5 Red Sox.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
And I know
Blue Jays
Seattle came back late last night to keep their hopes alive.
Yeah, they were getting doored today, but the Blue Jays romped and stomped. So if the Red Sox loses, Blue Jays will get in. So Yankees are controlled
Aaron Jones again.
I'm sure that's what he said. It seems like Sirianni says a lot of stupid shit there, Jason. Thanks for tuning in, brother.
I saw that. I was like, oh my God, I got to bring this up.
Man, I don't know what to say anymore about him.
Yeah, like I said, there's a difference between running through a wall for your guys and pounding your chest and making sure you vote for them, and when it comes to all pro stuff and give out buttons and handshakes and tell everybody how great your players are, you know what I mean? But it's just it's another thing to just say kind of ridiculous stuff, like I said, and just take away the numbers and just take away. It's week 4 of a loss, so it's just, to me, it's asinine. Unless it was 650. Unless he accounted for like 650 total offensive, total offense and 5 TDs and the Eagles lost on a field goal at the buzzer, then you're like, wow, what a performance from our guy, huh? I mean, probably one of the best I've ever seen. I've been a part of it. You know what I mean? Something like that. You know what I mean? Not in a week 4 loss when the last touchdown sloppy poppy. You know what I mean? You can have it. If not, it's a 19-point game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Darius Slay put out a tweet.
Russ Williams, I completely agree with you, brother.
Yes, Russ.
Says the box score for Hurts doesn't tell the whole picture. He didn't do anything exceptional and cost them at least 1 touchdown. Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely, Russ. And that's what people don't want to see. Like he did better today, but there's nothing that I'm like, okay, that's a lead again. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy can't throw running to his left. So, it makes it pretty predictable defensively too. So that's something he's got to overcome. But again, he played B- today. But Darius Slay says, in my 9 years, only 2 wide receivers that had 100 on me. Y'all go stop playing with my name. So Darius isn't happy. Appreciate the stats, Darius. Appreciate the time to tweet about your stats.
I'll make sure we go look it up.
Yep, and a loss. So how many times?
I'll put Greg on it. I'll put yeah.
No, I think because we went through this kind of last year, right? He had those 2 bad games against DK and Devontae, but again, we're going by and the stands go by the stats, right? We're just going by our eyes, and yeah, I think stats he does pretty well in pure stats against, but he doesn't take away the football as his moniker would assume. You know what I mean? And I think when he's teamed up on an offense, that's helmet to helmet.
Yeah, it is.
When he's teamed up on a defense that doesn't take the ball away, and you hope or you think that you're potentially getting that out of him because he's big play Slay, that's probably where a lot of this is coming from.
Listen, you just took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. Like, if you either made your own moniker up or if somebody gave that to you, you're probably better off just being steady Slay. How about being steady Slay?
I think he got that in college. I think he got it in college.
I don't see any big plays, so I'd rather have you just be steady Slay. You just told us, you're steady Eddie. You know what I mean? Like, only 2 guys get 100 on me. Call me steady Slay.
I'm gonna tweet at him, then change your handle. You know what I mean? Because it's big play Slay 24 Slay. So I mean, you're telling us you're gonna take the ball away a lot. You're a big playmaker. You're a playmaker, not a guy who just guys aren't gonna go for 100. Well, how many guys went for 90? How many guys went for 80? How many guys went for 80 and 2 touches? How many guys went for 70 and 2 touches? So what you're doing is you're creating a fucking agenda. You're creating an agenda and say, well, 100 is the deal breaker in the NFL. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because a guy can have 50 and 3 touches off you had a horrendous day. So don't tell me about keeping guys under 100. What does that do for me? How many interceptions in the last 3 years of your career? Okay, so shut up. I don't care how many guys you keep under 100. Because I'm going to ask again, how many guys had 50 or above on you? Because that means you weren't great that day. Like, that's not an island. You're acting like you're on Revis Island. 2 for 100. That's it in 9 years. Okay. How many guys went for 75?
And teams were probably mostly running the ball against the Lions because they were up by 40.
Yeah, nobody threw his way. And because they did the 1 year and he had a lot of picks. And after that, he hasn't had picks, period. So you don't take the ball away. I don't think you're an extremely great tackler. Your defense got fucking torched today. And today's the day you want to come out. Today's the day you want to put numbers out to me. I'll give you a number 1 and 3. I'll give you another number. 82 points scored against your defense in 2 games. Okay? So you tell me how that matters right now, Darius. You tell me. Because that means you're just trying to make yourself sleep at night. That's what you're telling me. You want to be able to put your head down and sleep all the night over a bullshit number that you just created to make it meaningful. That's not a meaningful number to me. You got 20 yards against you and 3 touches. That means you got beat in big spots. So it's against stats making an agenda. This is why I hate 2021 and stats in sports. Because it all becomes agenda. Well, this number says that this guy's this. Well, no, not have you watched them. Right, guys? Not have you watched them?
Yeah,
I don't think he's been bad. Like, I don't think he's been bad
I'm
this
doing a
year.
rant.
You keep bringing up Hurts, Bill. I'm talking about Darius now. This is the problem. Everybody keeps bringing up Jalen. We're not even talking about him anymore, and you circle back to him, and I love you. But again, stop with the numbers. There's big throws, easy throws in big spots that were not made today, and he gets a B-. How can you
We are
argue
looking
with that
elsewhere.
grade? If you sit at home and argue with a B or a B-, I think everybody needs to stop watching football. If today's an A performance from you, I think everybody's clueless. Everybody's clueless who has this as an A. Clueless, drinking the green Kool-Aid, and can't see out their own ass. Freaking joke. People are going to A this today. What are we A-ing? We're A-ing losses at the quarterback position? Anytime you lose, you automatically don't get an A. No, I'm not going to slow down. I've been doing 6 hours of this shit. I'm not slowing down at all.
Billy Middle.
Yeah, I like stats too. They play a major role, Chris, right? Especially being a baseball junkie, I am. Because stats have been on the baseball card for years. It matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. Obviously, because you can judge stuff off of stats. But at the end of the day, your eyes tell you. And my eyes tell me that Darius Slay's never been an elite corner in this league. Been good. Very good. Don't mind having them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But calm down, dude. Calm down. Listen, 3 touchdowns were taken off the board. I get everybody on that comment. But the ball to earth had nothing to do with a touchdown being taken off the board. That's a wide open receiver that you airmailed by 20 feet. That's an easy throw. The Greg Ward was after a touchdown got taken off the board, and that's another easy throw. So, come on, guys. I mean, there's 2 touchdowns back on the board. So, we can do this all day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. You can go back and forth to fit whatever agenda we need to fit, right?
Yeah, Raph. I mean,
Pavetta's in the closest out. Oh, they just collided.
I told you guys before I would have rather kept Sidney Jones and not spent the money on Slay because I didn't think he was a stud. Like I didn't think he was game over stud. I'd rather have fucking pay pennies to Sidney Jones and find out if he can play than sign a corner who doesn't take the football away. Like I need a Asante Samuel. I need a guy who's a ball hawk. I need some ball hawks on my defense.
That's a great comment by Reese. Right there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stats for all these. I would love to know more stats. You know what I mean? I would love to know some more stats. Yeah, I don't know the Lane situation, James. His personal reasons. He might have been on the sidelines, but overall, I thought the offensive line played really well today, and this coaching staff hasn't done them any favors in 2 weeks. Nope. Because the easy thing is you run the ball. You make your guys comfortable. You get guys backpedaling on the other end. And it doesn't make sense to me. But, at the end of the day, I thought they played really well this week. So, I want to give a little bit of credit somewhere, right?
No, there's no question. I think a lot of that stems from the experience that the Herbigs, the Driscolls got last year, right? So it wasn't new to them, right? It wasn't like, oh, shit, we're just getting thrown into the fire again. It was like, hey, we were here last year, and I think Dickerson's finally starting to get his feet settled underneath him. He was thrown into that first game that he played when Brooks went out. And then last week just went up against, a surprisingly solid defense in Dallas, right? We didn't think they were as good or as gutsy up front, but they showed it. So, I definitely think that he's starting to come into his own.
On another note, I mean, I think we talked enough Eagles for today on the Eagles side of things.
Pavetta's closing just to annoy you guys.
That's amazing.
He's trying to close this game out to get them in the playoffs.
Yep. Thanks. So the Rams getting a little beat down by the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, it's shocking to me.
Not really this week because they came off a really emotional win against Tampa. That almost felt like a Super Bowl for them in a way.
Yeah.
I could see it a little bit. It's a divisional game. I could smell it a little bit.
I think the margin is more shocking for me.
Yes,
the margin.
Yes, right.
Yeah. I'm not saying they couldn't have lost. They're getting doored. All right, Stafford's playing horrible, and I had them going to as a Super Bowl. You don't take anything away from Tom. You know what I mean? But obviously, Bucks Rams in the NFC. In the NFC title game. You know what I mean? So. Yep. You get this performance at home, you know what I mean? But, how much did you leave in the tank, like you said, a week ago? But it's week 4. We're not talking about week 13. That's what I understand pro sports. It sickens me.
Guys walk around and read their headlines, even at the biggest level, right? They walk around. You see Slate posting about his own shit. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the athlete today in a way. They go around, they read their clippings, they feel good about themselves. They're to toast LA, and then boom.
And we're in this area, you know what I mean? So just to make one more final point about the quarterback position, if we were in the LA area, right, we'd be killing Stafford right now, right? Yeah. And I love Matty, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think he's got a shot to win the MVP. He's in the right fit. Everything's working for him. Today you're horseshit in a big spot. It's week 4, big spot, horseshit.
Yeah, big divisional game. Both 3-0 coming into a huge game.
Front runner, Tyler. I went 5-0 right? Or no?
Yeah. 4-0, yeah. We'll be 4-0, yeah. But still, I mean, he is a front runner, abso-freaking-lutely. Kyler Murray when healthy, wasn't healthy at the end of last year, and that's mainly a lot of part of the Cardinals' offensive struggles. But they got more weapons out there. I mean, they are explosive. They are a problem. I mean, we talked about it on the show before. They got AJ Green that just quietly catches touchdowns. Like they got.
It looks like the old AJ Green. You know what I mean?
Does.
Hey,
3-0 gets you feeling real good, right? 3-0 gets the legs feeling real delicious. Edmonds is a little pimp, right? So I mean, they got playmakers, and Kyler Murray is just a younger Russell Wilson. It's exactly what he is. So for the Eagles thinking Jalen was Russell, no, Kyler was the next Russell because he's the closest thing to that guy. You see, they're almost so similar. They make plays, they extend plays in the pocket. They're little, but they both fucking throw darts. It's Dart City, and Kyler's small as shit, but does things differently because he can do things at an elite level that guys can't do. Now it's week 4, ain't crowning. There's been 4-0 teams that have shit the bed before in the past, but I think their defense is played way above expectations.
Yeah. Their defense is no joke. This is a statement game. It's about to be 41-13 on the road. Yeah. I mean, this is when you pull out. They pull their dicks out and they put it right on the table. So here you go. Bang.
I put my nuts on your drum set.
Yeah, right on the set. Casey's defense, Bill, is why they're in trouble right now. But I mean, their offense is what it is, right? So, they're gonna be in everything, but that could be their Achilles heel and their downfall.
And again, it kind of goes back to what makes today's game and performance so disheartening from the Eagle side, is because you knew that, right? We knew we were catching the Chiefs at a good spot, right? They didn't have a very, robust defense. It's not like we're facing either one of these defenses, right? The Cardinals or the Rams, you know what I'm saying? So we had a chance, and for most of the game, it showed that we had a chance to be in that game, and then we ultimately just, didn't get it done.
No, couldn't hang on long enough, right? Couldn't make the few big plays that were needed, and like we said, the penalties, everything like that. But we had them at the right time, if there was a right time, right? Bailey, what grade would you give Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith? I gave Jalen Hurts a B- today. I'll give Devontae, what do you go over 100, right? So I'll give him
over 100.
I'll go and give him an A-. The only thing keeping him from a solid A is just knowing where you are on the field, right? But that's tough. That's a tough one. So I'm not going to kill him on that one. Mm-hmm. But overall, I thought he had a really good day. He went up, made some contested catches for a little guy. That was good to see, and made that one catch on the sideline, Greg. 2 of them that we were like, "Woo, that's a great grab." So
the one we didn't think he got, or at least at first, I didn't think he got his other foot in. But yes.
So I mean, it's good to know, right? Good to know that we feel like he can play. And that wasn't a lie of him being able to play, right? So that's a good sign moving forward, right? I mean, you're trying to look for positives. You're trying to look for things. The only positive is there's nobody on the defense I want back. That you get rid of the whole defense right now. Like, okay, Hargrave, sure, I would trade him too. I would trade everybody that's tradable on this defense. Like Fletcher Cox, anybody want him? Right? I'm in that mode right now. I'm in that mode. Like I'll take a 4th round pick back for him. Whatever, get rid of the money. You know what I mean? Like it just that's where you're at because you thought maybe with some of these veterans that you could still maybe compete and win games, but if you get to the deadline and you're not even competitive, I mean, you have to clear house then. You have to start over and let the rebuild that you said was going to happen, Jeffrey Lurie, didn't just happen, right? Because the halfway in is not going to work for any of us, especially when the halfway in isn't good enough. Make sense? Like keeping Fletcher and some of these guys, it's like, dude, if somebody wants Darius Slay, let him come off for a package, right? At this point, like, what's he good for us now?
Well,
like,
I think
if you're not winning, you're not winning. What's the point?
You're completely spot on, and I think a lot of these restructures kind of have set that up to where after this year, there's not a lot of guaranteed money attached to these guys.
Oh, yep.
So I think that was the restructure last year with Darius, right? It allows us to potentially trade him this year and not eat a lot of money going forward. I'm sure the same thing with Fletch. I think this is actually also like Lane, the last year of Lane's actual deal. Now, granted, he's got triggers to connect in more because they keep pushing his can down the line. But I think to that point, Tommy, they have set up a lot of these contracts to where a lot of their guaranteed money has been paid out to where they're not eating a bunch of dead cap if we get into fire sale mode.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it should be fire sale mode. If you're not winning games by the deadline, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're winning games and you feel good about yourself, then obviously not. But if you're playing at the rate now of 1 and 3s, right? Like after 4s, then I think by the deadline, which is what, week 8, 9, that you have to just be saying, okay, I'll take what I can get, right? Because any pick's a win for you then.
Yeah. Because
you're not going to keep these guys anyway. So take a 4th, take a 5th. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And you try to use some of them things to maneuver around it and get up, more picks in the 2nd round, 3rd round, that you can find some guys that can help this roster moving forward. Because you're in that mode where you need as many as you can get. Mm-hmm. Because you have a ton of money. So it's not like you don't have a ton of money. I mean, you can reshape this roster in 1 year really good if you wanted to. With 3 firsts, right, guys? 3 firsts, a lot of money. I mean, this roster can look completely different. All your jerseys that you own won't be here anymore, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like it could look really different. And I'm all in for it. Like I'm ready. The Super Bowl year and all that fun stuff, that's over now, right? Yeah. So it's time to move on from some of these guys that we love that just, guess what? Like Fletcher. Like I love Fletcher. I love Lane. But if somebody's going to offer me something for both of them guys, I got to make the move.
No, absolutely.
And I think anybody that says they want it is just crazy. Now, right now, I'm not going to do it because I got plenty. I got a lot of season left.
I was in that mode in his offseason, right? I mean, we were kind of, some of us were, at least I know I was like, hey, let's see what we can get going into the draft, right? See what you can get and then see what we can turn into. Because I didn't think this, even with this year, we were going to be very good. So,
no, I agree.
But now that we're here officially,
yeah,
bottoms up.
Yeah, no, and to Tommy's point, we'll see what happens. You're still going to play the games, but you're possibly looking, at least to me, on paper, at a 2-7 burger. You know what I mean? By the time the trade deadline, if you're talking about week 9, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, looking on paper, that's why they play the game. So who knows? But if you're 2-7, that's fire sale time.
Yep, 2-7.
Definition of fire sale.
2-7, definitely fire sale time. All right, guys, you guys want to do crumbs?
Yeah, bro. Been a long day for you guys. It's a good little post game wrap. Post game wrap.
We wrapped it.
Yeah.
We wrapped it. I mean, this is why we're the best in the business. There ain't nobody going this long in the business.
No,
there's nobody. But we do it for the people, and we do it because we love it, and it makes the losses feel better. Because you feel like you air your grievances. And I hope it does the same thing for the listeners. That's the whole goal of why we built this thing, was because, it gave us a voice to vent it, let it out, evaluate it, talk about stuff we love, which is sports, and give the people out there that same voice. It's built for the fan. People try to mock it and imitate it and say for the fan, by the fan. There's only one that's been doing it 7 years, and it's right here, baby. And if you ain't hitting that like and subscribe by now, we can't help your ass. Be great today. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, comment in. Right, we're doing our crumbs. Give us your crumb. Who's your guys' crumb of the week? Right, it can be anything. It can be stuff we've already talked about. My crumb of the week is what I talked about earlier on the earlier live reaction. I mean, you play great explosive offenses, and you do not run the football at all. And I'm a passing junkie. You understand it?
I was going to say, that's shocking coming from you.
I don't need balance. I don't need 50-50. That's old school way of thinking. All right, you got to throw to win in this league. But I could use a 60-40. Right, I mean, I've said that with Doug, 60-40, 58-42. I can work with that, okay, because at least it's got to be respected enough. I want you to throw the ball around the yard, right? But again, when you go against offenses like this, like we went to Green Bay that one year, right? We pounded the ball because it was Rodgers, right? That's football 101. And that same night, supposedly Jeffrey Lurie wasn't happy because we ran the ball too much. Fast forward to real time. We are watching. I can't believe this is real life. We are watching, in my opinion, the owner and the general manager wanting to throw the ball all around the yard because there's no other reason. Nick Sirianni, who we don't think is a great coach, right, would be the biggest moron of all time if his game plan was to throw the football all day. Now, I'll say this. The RPOs, I thought they could help this offense because I thought they would put it in the belly more. But your quarterback, guys, your quarterback is the one reading to the pass plays every single play. So something has to be changed where he needs to get his ass under center a little bit, right? Different things that create a running game. When I went into this year, the reason I thought that the Eagles offense could be really explosive is I thought with a running quarterback like him that they could use the RPO to their advantage. Well, they've done the opposite. So another reason why me hoping for 10 is out the window is because the things I asked for, they're not doing. Right, guys? Like the things I begged you for, you're not doing. So nobody in that building has a fucking football IQ. That's what we're figuring out here. So you can build statues and you can think you're the smartest guy in the room and go make another goddamn movie, Jeffrey, have your wife drinking and driving. I don't know. But what I do know is you don't know football. And what I do know is your general manager has managed to stay through tenure after tenure coming out smelling like fucking roses. So what am I missing? I'm missing something here. I'm missing something big because you don't want to run the football. Somebody needs to answer that question in a presser. How do you get away with this? With a young quarterback, too. So take a little pressure off the quarterback for a minute. With a young quarterback, you're not going to help him with a run game? Are we fucking okay here? There's my crumb. Losers.
For me, I'll land on the Phillies. I'll change sports right there. You know, I mean, it's
bastard.
1-5 week. Braves had a 5-1.
They didn't deserve it for me, Sweet. So
I know.
Take care of them here for me.
As baseball guys, we're going to put a bow on it. You know what I mean? And it's disgusting to watch. You know what I mean? 1-5 week in a had to have it week. You know, and you get to second to last series of the year, which is huge. You know what I mean? You're 2.5 back. We said all along, hey, if you're just 3 back, if you get to this series and you're 3 back, you got a shot. All right, I understand it's hard to sweep. Okay, yeah, that's what losers say. It's hard to sweep. Okay,
well, they did to you.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They did it. So like, how come other people can do it? Like I love hearing that. Like, oh, it's hard to sweep. No shit. Well, they did it. All right, they had a 5-1 week. You had a 1-5 week. Right, and it doesn't care if you're out of it or not. You go in there and you fucking take care of the Marlins, which you can't. You never take care of the Marlins anyway. So who's surprised? But you lose 2 out of 3 again to the Marlins, and just enough you get that one just to get you to 82 and 80. So some people can cash tickets, and some Red Rockets are out, so they can be like, "Hey, you had a winning season, Hercules." Bullshit, right? There's a lot of fucking talent in there. I understand the pitching sucks. The fucking pen, the management. Joe hasn't been great. All right, Harp had a monster year. All right, so we're not taking anything away from him. Came up small in the Braves series, but his teammates, nobody else stepped up. All right, so the way I'm not going to kill him. That's why I said the Phillies. I would never, that guy did from the All-Star break. Listen, he did everything he could. You know what I mean? But you also got to answer the bell, and then the biggest series of the year, though. All right, so
he called himself out. I don't know if you saw that.
You know what I mean? That's where we hold people accountable. You know what I mean? And Greg is right there. He's the number one fanboy. You know, he wants to grow his hair out and be just like him. You know what I mean? And he'll be the first to tell you can't have an 0 for 11 with 5 punchies against the Braves in a monster series. You know what I mean? So. But, you know, listen, sooner or later, the stink of the rest of your fucking team seeps in your fucking pores. So, I mean, you know, that's the one thing I'll give you a pass for, Harv. You know, the fact that you carried them all season and then the fucking stink finally got to you. It finally poured right in your fucking pores. All right. And they better make fucking changes. Right. Because, you know, it's Eagle season now. So we'll probably not have it as our poll. But I jokingly said to you guys the other day, right? Or the Phillies, the worst big market organization in the 4 majors, not just football. Right. And you can answer that question any way you want to.
Yes.
And anybody like it. It's fucking embarrassing.
See, listen, it's the easiest answer of all time. TJ, thank you. Hamilton. Kayvon, absolutely. Love both names. Appreciate the super chat. We can't thank you guys enough for it.
Hope was for Hamilton. Let's start the hashtag.
Yeah, start the hashtag. But this is a joke, and everything you said spot on. And you can't have that in a big series. You know, not trying to put all their problems on him either. Right? There's big time. We know the holes on this roster, etc. So, you know, I don't know what's left to say, but they are the worst. Big market in professional sports because they not make the playoffs for this long when you have the resources to build, you know, you have the resources per se to like build your roster and spend stupid money per se. And you didn't. You were halfway in this whole time. Yeah. And here we are. Family, we're doing Crumb in a week. So jump on in.
Yeah, no, and Sweeps, I don't know if you saw, but Harper called himself out, or at least held himself accountable for that Braves series as well. So he said, "Yeah, I let my team down. I let the city down. And in the biggest series of the year, I was nowhere." And
that's right. I didn't know that, and that's awesome. And listen, he's adored himself to the city and these fans, and there's a reason why people love him. And listen, you know, he plays hard, and the year he had he should be the MVP. You know what I mean? Especially. You know, until they change it the way we've had these discussions in our chats before, you know what I mean? And they probably never will. I'm saying they should change it to most outstanding player, right? Then you can give it to guys that don't make the playoffs. Now it's been like that for 200 years, you know what I mean? So this is not a shot at Harp, you know what I mean? And saying, take his MVP away because he didn't make the playoffs. No, I'm not going to be that guy. I've been saying that as long as I understood it. You know what I mean? Not when I was 5 years old, but as I get older and older and older, I understand. To me, it's a winning. You got to win. You got to win in order, because if you take Harp off the Phillies, you know, and we were joking the other night, you know, they finished 3rd or 4th or maybe last. I don't know. It's still the end of the day. You're cleaning out your locker today, and it's golf time. You know what I mean? And you know, so, you know, to me, it's, you know, an MVP is the guy that pushes us over the edge, gets us to this next step. You know, whether you do anything in the playoffs or not, it gets you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Greg, what's yours?
Well, it was going to be the Phillies, but Sweep stole that one. Thanks, buddy.
You know, double dipping.
No, I mean, but he said everything. I would definitely double dip if I think he missed anything, but he hit it all in the head. You can't go. I mean, hell, you lost 5 of 6. Add 6 of 7 with the Pirates. You know, getting booed out of your own house the last game of the year because they knew that you were going to lay this egg. But no, I'll go college football. 6 of your top 15 teams lose yesterday, and now you're going to have to figure out a way to put a playoff series season together when there's truly 2 teams. Just let Alabama and Georgia play, you know, and just call it a day.
Yep.
Just call it a day. There's nothing left. Penn State's not the number 3 team in the country. Nope. I'll tell you that right now. You know what I mean? Like, and we're going to find out, you know, how good potentially they are. You know, they're another team struggling to run the football. You got all these high-end recruits who can't run the football. You know, they're going to face Iowa here this week. And Iowa's a good football team. Are they the number 4 team in the country? Probably not. Is Cincinnati the number 6 team in the country? Probably not, right? So there's a whole lot of – I like it in the terms of parity, right? I like the parity that, you know, on any given Saturday or Thursday or Friday or whatever, that there's some good games, but it's going to be hell for the bowl season and especially the playoffs because you're stuck into this 4-team narrative. You're stuck into this 4-team as opposed to potentially expanding it, and then let's have some fun.
Yeah,
but if you're at 4 teams, there's only one game that needs to be had. It's going to be the SEC championship. Just double down in 2 weeks later for the national championship.
Yeah, no, it's been bad for a while. Like I said, there's people who love it. I mean,
love Notre Dame losing though. Love Notre Dame losing.
We love college football. You know what I mean? Listen, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So we're still going to watch it and we're still going to be big fans of it. You know what I mean? But it's been a bad product for a long time. Right? Yeah. And that's why, people are like, oh, Alabama haters and Saban haters. No, it's not good for the fucking sport. Right? It's not good for the sport. It isn't. Right? And I know he's the best of all time. And listen, he busts his ass. He's got he's got 5-star recruits. Right? So I know he's great. Right, but it's not like he's walking around with 53 tomato cans either. Yeah. Right, so let's not get it too twisted. You know what I mean? But with the he still manages it and he still does a great job. And those guys, other schools have access to these players too, and they don't get them. So whether they're doing something, whether they're greasing palms or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Or these guys obviously want to get ready for the next level, and they know that hey, if I go here, this guy's going to get us ready for the next level because even I'm playing, I might be, in practice, I might be going against third teamers that are going to be first rounders because they can't get on the field. You know what I mean? So I get that too. You know what I mean? But if you expand it, like you said, all right, whether some of these teams have a chance or not, and this is like the 100th time we've talked about this, but that's the only way to possibly get some parity. All right, because maybe some of those studs will go elsewhere because it isn't that 4-team window. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely on that. It's the only way to change it. It's the only way to try to make it like competitive for more than two, maybe 3 teams moving forward. Yeah. But boys, great show. Love doing it.
Two Iron Men right here. Great work out of you guys. Forget about me. I just popped in and relief. I came in to throw the 8th. I had a clean 8th. I'm not gonna lie.
1, 2, 3, 8th.
Yes, sir. Clean.
Speaking of that, Hector Neris' 250th career strikeout. I think that leads the Phillies as an organization. Of all time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
That Hector is your now all-time leading strikeout thrower, as a reliever. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know if I love that.
Hector wasn't. I mean, he had probably 2 good years, right? 2 years that he's really good, but we sucked.
Yeah, we were not. We were not good.
Crazy to me. I mean, obviously the innings weren't what they are, nowadays in the old days, because guys were finishing what they started. You know what I mean? It was tough to get the ball out of the starters' hands a long time ago. You know what I mean? So I get it, but I still find it hard to believe, especially when you said that number. Like if you told me it was like, 3 or 350, I'd be like, okay, I see.
Maybe it was. Let me double check.
I mean, you're gonna tell me we didn't have it. Phil's didn't have a guy that had at least 50 Ks.
Sorry, 520.
I was going to say, somebody didn't have a kid. I was going to say 5 seasons of 50 Ks or something.
Yeah, 520.
Najee Harris touchdown run right now for daily fantasy.
We can allow it.
I'm like 38th, and I'm winning $70. And I feel like if I get a touchdown from him, it's going to be.
They called holding, so 1st and goal. They should.
First and goal.
Then we're going to jump big time. Oh, red zone goes away from it. I could use Lamar too.
Give it to him.
Did Teddy?
Over the top. Is that him? For Tom.
Yen, let's go.
Was that Najee?
Najee. For Thomas.
Oh, it was McLeod. It was Ray McLeod.
Oh, my God. No, he didn't do that to you.
No, I'm just messing with him. Did he get over, though?
What incarnation is going on? I don't think he did.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
He finally did.
The guy ruled in a TD. Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta see.
38th right now, so let's see. Yeah, let's see.
Did Teddy Bridgewater get benched?
No, I think he probably just got hurt. I thought he was doing all right. Maybe you're right, though.
I mean, that's brutal. I mean, you're 3-0 going up against a.
That's why I think he got hurt. I don't think they would have the nutsack to do that. You know what I mean? Especially when it's Drew Lock.
I swear to God, if Teddy Bridgewater is out for the season, I will lose it.
There you go.
Well, you're going to see a lot of Trey Lance in San Francisco now because I think that is official.
Yeah. Jimmy always gets hurt. That was easy.
And Trey looked like, explosive, running around. They'll give him a better chance in reality. But listen, we thank you all for listening. We thank our doc for sponsoring every Sunday. Make them yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. We're also brought to you by Manscaped, and you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. We'll cough. We've been talking for a while. Also, make sure you can download it tonight and hop in the Monday night action, and that's FanUp, and it is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code HUD for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. FanUp.app or right on the Apple Store. I do it every week. I do it every Sunday, Monday, Thursday games. I'm in the year-long contest. There's tons of other things to do. Go download the app. Use the promo code. You're going to go in and you're going to get bonus points for just downloading the app. Plus, the promo code gives you a ton to play with where you're not having to deposit money for a while either. And the great thing is there's no salary caps. That's what I love. It's easier for the average Joe. DraftKings and all them are hard sometimes. They're harder. They're harder to hit because you got to be smarter. This, you just have to be smart with your flex, essentially, because it's times like 1.5.
Yeah.
So that's the difference maker.
And I screwed up, right? So today I had Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. Devontae did nothing, but I had him as my flex.
If
I had Tyreek in my flex, I'd probably be in the money. I ain't going to lie.
Yeah, you would be. Yeah, most likely. Listen, we were money today for Greg Milanovic, Nick Delgazzo. I'm Tom Arnone. No Brian Wilson tonight. We still love them. Download the app. Reach out to our sponsors if you need anything because they're all the freaking best. We love you all. Fly Eagles fly, I guess. And is Ben Simmons traded yet? Because I need a good year for the Sixers here. I need to feel good. We're out.
Oh.
What?